Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Zenith. And today I want to go over a bit of a controversial concept. Now, there has been a lot of debate because a lot of people want just to be able to play Mythic Plus, and Blizzard wants to kind of keep raiding a thing, so people are kind of forced into doing raiding. Now what I'm talking about is the gearing process. So currently on Dragonflight, if you do a Mythic Plus 10, you get Myth Track 2 or 1, and by doing that, you only have to grind, I think it's something like 20 to 30 keys to be able to then upgrade your gear, which to the average player, that's quite a lot of keys. However, to most of the people that played quite a lot of the game, that won't take awfully long, especially if your main, you just play one character. That won't realistically take too long if you couple that with raiding as well. However, if you just did Mythic Plus, that's going to take you a week, maybe 2 weeks to actually upgrade that gear. However, in the War Within, Blizzard have now introduced Myth Track 6. So even if you are doing plus 10s or higher, you're only ever going to get a Myth Track 1, and you're going to have to upgrade it 5 times. Now, what has changed, in my opinion, is the fact that they want to... I don't think they're forcing people into it, but people are going to feel more obligated to completing heroics at least every week, which I guess isn't a bad thing, but Mythic raiding is definitely going to be a lot easier in terms of upgrading your gear. So if you are in a Mythic raiding guild, you're definitely going to want to clear it on your main every week as much as you can to get as much content done as you can. I mean, to be fair, heroic after week 1 pretty much can be pugged. Even week 1 you can pretty much pug heroic, so I guess it's not going to change too much. But yeah, it's going to take a long time to get your gear fully equipped. Now, one of the things that people were hoping was that with warbands, you're going to be able to send over your crests from your main character to your ult. So if you did want to play an ult, it's not going to be too bad because you're able to just move the crests over and off you go. However, they have confirmed that you are not allowed to move crests at the moment. Now, obviously, if a lot of people kick off about this, they may change that eventually, hopefully. But this is Blizzard, and they do like us to make us farm content. I guess the only added bonus is if you can trade Myth Track gear that you loot through your warband. However, I highly doubt that's going to be a thing, because if you could, then at least it's going to take the grind out of actually getting the gear away. It's just going to be more of a case of actually grinding the content. Now, as you can see, the plus 2 gives you champion. In the thing, it gives you a champion 4, which is the same as doing a plus 6. And then plus 3 gives you hero, all the way up to hero 4. Now, there's no difference between completing a plus 8 and a plus 9 currently. So if you are just doing a weekly key and you can do an 8 comfortably, there's no need to push it to a 9 realistically, considering the fact that it's exactly the same loot here. In terms of completing the dungeon, you get the same loot plus 7, 8 and 9. So again, for a weekly key, I would aim for a plus 7 as much as you can, so you get that hero track, and then you get a hero 3 anyway, so it's not too bad. Now a plus 10 is still going to drop hero track 1, and then going to give you a myth track 1 in the chest, which is a decent sizable upgrade, I have to say. Like this is what, like a 13 point eye level increase just from your weekly. So if you can do a plus 10, defo worth. But if you can't do a plus 10, it's questionable whether you should even push plus 7, like just keep grinding your plus 7s to get more hero gear and then push up from there. But because you can obviously complete a 7 a lot faster. But again, there's a lot of controversy. Now has done the maths, well, there's a lot of people that have done the maths actually, but now is the only post that I could actually find, and he's done the calculation. So in Dragonflight, to get from 522 to 528, right, which is your highest myth track piece from the chest, to upgrade it to full myth track would take a total of 420 crests. When you do the crafted items, you need 120 crests, so you would need 45 runs per piece of gear to max it, or to max everything, and then 54 runs to do 54 bosses killed if you just did the raids. So realistically, Mythic Plus, you can still do less, but if you were coupling that with the raid, obviously it's going to be a lot less, so it kind of helps in a way. But with the War Within, so you can only get a Myth Track +1, which means you need 5 steps, so you need 1,050 crests to go from 623 to 639, and 120 crests for the 2 pieces of crafted gear. Now, keeping in mind that crafted gear cannot get to max item level, like I think it's something like a 10 item level difference, maybe even less. And if that's the case, it's questionable whether crafted gear, unless the secondary stats that you get, like the embellishments that you get from them, are super broken, it's going to be questionable whether crafted gear is even going to be utilized. But again, that's something that we're going to have to see. But then Mythic Plus runs, and these have to be timed. You have to do 98, and then raid bosses you have to get 117. Now obviously if you do a combination of both and you're doing your weekly heroic, then that's going to considerably drop. However, what we're mostly interested in is ults. Like on your main, you're going to do that anyway, because you're going to want to gear up as fast as you can to start pushing or doing whatever you want to do in the game. However, on an ult, if you have to run the raid, like say you play 4, like I play 4 tanks, right? I would have to do 4 weekly heroic runs plus an absolute truck ton of Mythic Plus to then be able to upgrade each of my characters to a decent eye level. So as much as like that's an insane value in terms of content and keeping me going within the game, that's going to take a hell of a lot of time before I can then successfully say, okay, now I'm going to start pushing, because I'm going to spend a lot of time grinding gear. So I don't know if I like this change, or whether this is going to create more redundancy in terms of content and cap you from swapping characters all the time, especially if each season, obviously, you're going to have to do the same thing over and over again. Hopefully crests will obviously bring over with us, but even so, like this is going to take a long time. I can see a lot of people just sticking to one character or having like an ult and just upgrading it whenever, not really playing it to max. Like World First Raiders, they are going to have to do a lot of content before the content actually comes out. The good thing with Mythic Plus is like you have what, like 3-4 months to be able to farm all this stuff before you actually get pushed into the other one. But hopefully Blizzard sees their mistake and actually changes something. But again, this is Blizzard, so the chances are this is not going to change anytime soon. So let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about this content, whether you think this is a good change, a bad change, or whether it's just going to become redundant content and people are just not really going to play ult as much. Like maybe your gear is slightly just to test it, but I can guarantee not many people are going to be pushing on more than one character, especially like top level keys. But I guess we'll have to see. Let me know in the comment section below. As always, make sure to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.